Hi, I'm John Pavlak. Welcome back to Ion Harness Racing, presented by Trackmaster. It's the absolute height of the summer racing season, but the sport's top-ranked horse has been away from all the action. Captaintreacherous's days of leisure, however, are about to come to an end. The winner of this year's North America Cup and Meadowlands Pace will be sent to Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs this Saturday for the $500,000 Battle of the Brandywine. Our Ken Weingartner caught up with trainer Tony Alagna to get an update on his prize pupil.
All concerned, about him having to come back. It's a tough race he's going to be jumping right into.
Yeah, I think so too, just based on the way he qualified and, the way he acts fitness level-wise. After we qualified him that day, we had kind of planned on having a second qualifier if we needed at Poconos this Thursday. And he was so strong in his qualifier, or this past Thursday, that Timmy said, I don't think we need to qualify him again. He was very sharp. So he got on 25 and 4th in Meadowlands that day, and that's a big quarter for him because he's not normally a sprinter like that. So he's very sharp right now.
What do you think about the division now that you've had a few weeks to see some of these horses, on their own, what they've been doing? What do you think about the division now as it stands?
Yeah, I think that, he's definitely still, based on what he's accomplished and racing against those other horses, he's definitely, the horse to beat all the time, at this stage. So we're hoping we did the right thing by giving him a little layoff and freshening him up for the rest of the year. He put on about 75 pounds. He couldn't be any fresher, any sharper. Really looks good condition-wise. So, we were hoping we did the right thing, and the way he acts, I believe we did.
We are the U.S. Trotting Association. We don't own or breed racehorses and don't operate racetracks. We're the 20,000 individuals in the United States who do. We publish the sport's most widely read monthly magazine, Hoofbeats. We present the sport's most visited website, ustrotting.com. We teach fans all about racing through our online night school. We help place retired horses through our support our standardbreds and full circle programs, and we have been advancing the sport of harness racing and the standardbred horse for 75 years. We are the U.S. Trotting Association. The U.S. Trotting Association announced this week it has entered into a contract with Conversion, a leading social media consulting firm, into developing a social media strategy for the USTA and the sport of harness racing. Normally, when such contracts are executed, there's a problem. Seems you have to explain the sport of harness racing. That will not be a problem here. With us is Rob Key, the CEO of Conversion. And Rob, you've got a harness racing background. Tell us about it.
I do. I've mucked my share of stalls over the years, that's for sure. I started off as a groom, like many people do. Had the opportunity to remember the glory days in some ways of working with Billy Howden. Worked with Jimmy Takter when he got his first horses. My father has been an owner for years and gave him some of his first horses. Worked my way up as a trainer, did some amateur drives, and then went to New York and actually started a social media agency after doing a stint at some of the big advertising agencies, Young and Rubicam and others. I was a member of the board of directors of WPP.com, which owns a lot of the large ad agencies. And 10 years ago, started a social media agency, which has become pretty well known in the industry. We were named Social Media Agency of the Year a couple of years ago, and my life has converged. My horse life together with my agency life, and what I hope we can do with this convergence is to help introduce the sport to a new generation of fans.
Now, Rob, you are not the head of a small shop. You have many major clients. We're in good company. Tell us about some of them and what you do for them.
Our largest client is IBM, and we're helping IBM become a social business. So it's a lot of technology, about a lot of business transformation and others. But we also work with Hilton Hotels. We work with Siemens, we work with PayPal, we work with Yahoo and others. What we're doing for horse racing and for harness racing is a little bit, it's similar but different. And it's a different category in some ways, but it's also about business transformation. Because what happens with social media is, as you start to connect with your customers on a very intimate level through these social media platforms, it starts to become the impetus for redesigning how you go to market. And so it's a journey, as I say. It's not a campaign, it's a journey, and it's going to require all the constituents within the industry to help participate. So when people say sometimes to me, well, what are you going to do for us? My response is, it's what are we going to do together? And so what we're going to get out of it is exactly what everybody puts into it. So I'm really looking forward for the various tracks, the various other constituencies, the horsemen and others to come together and rally behind this. When there's a change in technology, there's an opportunity. We missed the television era in many ways, but we now have the opportunity to reconnect through these platforms and to do things that, frankly, we couldn't do 5 or 10 years ago. And so we're quite excited about that.
Rob, you had a bit of a test run during the Hamiltonian in which a special, I believe it's called hashtag, was established and the like. How did that go, and what were the metrics? How did it measure up?
For a campaign that we launched in 3 weeks, it went extraordinarily well. So we took advantage of multiple social platforms, and one of the most important things about social media is you need to tell a story and connect to people through their connections. So this isn't the media in an advertisement doing a 30-second advertising spot that nobody really believes and most people don't care about. When we're connecting to people, we're connecting to them through their friends, and their friends to their friends. It's the network effect. And so what we were able to do was we did a really interesting countdown of the top 20 moments in Hamiltonian history with Dean Hoffman, who helped do the curation. But through the power of social media, we were able to show the videos and show the photos, and people were able to comment on them and share them with their friends and like them through Facebook, etc. And it created this extraordinary ripple effect where we reached 15 million unique users in that 3-week period, with over 3,000 people liking the content that we were creating. About 70% of those people did not have a deep connection to harness racing, which was equally important because we need to reach out to new generations of fans, the millennials. Because in the millennial category, and if we think about reaching out to the next generation of fans, we know through research that they find their ideas and inspirations from their friends. They don't find it from traditional media. And so by connecting to them through their social networks, they're giving their own personal recommendations to their friends as well. There's a McKinsey statistic that says that word-of-mouth recommendations through social media are acted on 50 times more than traditional advertising. So this is a very powerful technique, but it's something that you don't turn on and off. We now have these people who raised their hand and said, you know, I'm kind of interested in this sport, tell me more. And part of our mission is going to be to start to create ongoing connections with these people, to tell them about not just the Hamiltonian, but potentially yearling cells, potentially the Little Brown Jug, our other major races, the Grand Circuit. We're going to build an ongoing connection through content with them over time. So great quick proof of concept. There's a great desire out there among the owners and horsemen and others of the world to do something. We recognize that we have to invest a little bit in the sport now to have a healthy sport in 10 years from now. And I've heard that from all corners of the sport, and I'm really looking forward to additional partnerships in that way.
All right, Rob, I know that the ink is hardly dry on the contract between your firm and the USGA, but what can we expect to do next?
The first step is going to be helping to build the capabilities across the various constituencies to do social media in the right way. So we call it foundational work. And sometimes it isn't as sexy as, you know, the Instagram video, viral videos. But it's about building capabilities within the organization to first listen to what's being said in real time, and we're going to be giving them software technologies to be able to listen to real-time conversations and sentiment and topics, etc., and to be able to engage. It's about governance and policies. When you engage in social media, you have to do it in the right way. The FTC, so we're going to be working with the USTA to do this the right way. It's about transparency and authenticity and other things as well. It's about training, so we're going to be training various constituencies across the country in whatever tracks raise their hand to help them understand content marketing and social media marketing and measurement and other things as well. And so we're going to really be building, it's from the inside out, and building these capabilities so that this is sustainable over time, because the last thing we want to do is to make an investment, like kind of throwing a little, you know, stone in the pond and have some ripples and then it goes away. This is because we want this to sustain over time. So we're going to be going forth. The tracks and various constituencies will be getting some news from us about what's happening next and how they can start to participate. And I'm encouraging all the different states and all the different tracks to really contribute. They're partners with us in this, from the biggest track to the smallest track. And then we're going to have a larger conversation with the tracks and the horsemen about trying to create a sustainable funding model that's going to be required to do this year over year over year. We as a sport, I think we all know, didn't pay a lot of attention to marketing for 50 years. And it's going to take some time for us, obviously, to make the impact that we have. So this is a journey. This is going to be a journey that's going to take some time. But this is the right step, the right first step. And building the foundation is the first thing you need to do before you build the whole house.
Sounds very interesting, very exciting. Rob, we'll talk to you in the future, I'm sure, for more updates. Thanks for taking time today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
By the way, Rob took part in the Harness Racing Congress. He was on a panel called "The Revolution Will Not Be Televised." You can see his remarks. They're very interesting. They're on our Vimeo channel, so visit and check it out. I think you will enjoy it and learn a lot more like I did when I saw it live. Via Magician's great 2013 campaign continued this past Saturday at Mohawk Racetrack, where she was the 1-9 favorite in the $150,000 Midsummer Challenge. The first challenge came in leaving from post position 10. Driver Rick Zeron wanted to put her on top, but Motown Muscle and driver Jody Jamieson elected at first to go on. But Jamieson, who knows very well that it's always good to get cover from a strong favorite, let Zeron go. The second challenge came when Jamieson tried to cash in on the perfect trip as the field raced home. The outcome provided great drama and great racing.
And it's Be a Magician still on that lead. Here comes Motown Muscle, and an upset-minded Motown Muscle comes after Be a Magician. Motown Muscle, Be a Magician, Motown Muscle on the outside, and Be a Magician at the inside.
The next day at Tioga Downs, more than $500,000 in purse money was split between a pair of Empire Breeders' Championships. In the first, for sophomore pacing colts, Brian Sears drove Vegas Vacation to a 148-3 victory off a first over trip.
Vegas Vacation is gigantic. First over with Brian Sears. Vegas Vacation puts away Sunfire Blue Chip. Then Sir Kerry Z. Tam. Vegas Vacation hits the line in 148-3.
I know this horse has been knocking on the door, like Brian said. It must be frustrating until now when he's finally starting to show how good he really is.
Oh, for sure. Like, I can't say it's frustrating. Like, getting seconds is the money's adding up in his bank account for sure, but winning some of these is going to be real sweet, and he finally got a real nice win here with the track record mile.
In the sophomore filly pacing division, David Miller and She Best in Gin took the lead before the half and went on to win by 10 lengths in 149.
And she is all alone in a class by herself. She be stinging.
What were you thinking going into this race with her?
Oh, going into the race, I was really happy. 3 weeks ago, she had a corn in her foot, and that had been bothering her, but that seems to be taken care of now. And I know she's ready for a big mile, and I just hope she can prove what I think of her, because I think she's certainly one of the best, if not the best. But we have to race Nightlife a couple times before we can make that claim.
Interestingly, both miles equaled world records.
Trackmaster, along with TVG and the USTA, would like to announce the $5,000 Big Five Harness Handicapping Challenge. Free to enter and free to play, there will be 5 weekly chances to participate every Saturday from August 10th through September 7th. 5 finalists advance each week by making 5 wagers from any of our 5 featured tracks. Trackmaster will be providing free programs and handicapping data to contest participants, and with $5,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs in the finals on September 14th, you won't want to miss it. Visit Trackmaster.com to register and find out more.
Trackmaster has again provided us with platinum picks for the Ion Harness Racing Race of the Week. Here are this week's Trackmaster platinum picks for the $500,000 Battle of the Brandywine at Pocono. The Battle of the Brandywine is not the only major stakes on Saturday's card at Pocono. Here to look at the battle and to give us Paul's picks is Paul Ramlow.
This weekend Super Stakes Saturday at Mohegan Sun at Pocono Downs features an outstanding race card highlighted by 3 major events. First off, the $500,000 Battle of the Brandywine for Pacers features Captaintreacherous back after a long layoff. He is certainly going to be the favorite in this race, but it won't be a walk in the park. I'm looking forward to seeing how Mocket So handles the jump up in class. He's won 5 straight races up in Canada. You also have Lone Wolf Courier and Sunshine Beach, who also drew inside the captain. In the Colonial Trot, it will be Royalty for Life, trying to look on and add to his Hamiltonian triumph. He also faces a tough task as he has post position 8. Inside of him, Spider Blue Chip, Smiling Eli, among the many competitors. Corky will also be a horse heard from. And I think a Perfect Yankee and driver Jim Oscarson will get a big piece of the action this Saturday. And then in the Valley Forge for pacing mares, I Love the Nightlife looks to have everything going her way. An inside post, and maybe her biggest competitors, She Be Stingin', having to start out of post position 9. Look out for Somewhere Over the Rainbow as she looks to get back into the fray against the open competition as well. I'm Paul Ramlow for Paul's Paddock Picks.
That's it for this week. I'd like to thank Paul Ramlow, Ken Weingartner, and Rob Key for their contributions to this week's show. Next week, we will focus on the first leg of the Pacing Triple Crown and the Zweig Memorial Trots. I'm John Pavlak. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to make Ion Harness Racing a regular Thursday viewing habit.